What up, folks? Here we are back with some more Hawaiian adventures. I have to say, this capped off possibly the best 24 hours of my life. I don't know, because I was thinking about this a little bit later. So I had the manta ray night dive. A few hours after that, I was looking at a live volcano. A few hours after that, right now, I was looking at migrating whales. I mean, where else in the world can you see those things within 24 hours, all in the same place? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe around the Pacific Rim. It might be possible, but it's just Hawaii. Hawaii is a magical place. Magical place. All right. So I wanted to show this picture first. This is where the boat for the whale watching took off. It was basically right across the bay from where my dive boat left, so I was familiar with the area, to say the least at this point. Yeah, let's. I don't want to dwell on this. Let's jump right into it. This was before we left. Yeah, that's west, out into the shore. That's basically the part we took off from. And yeah, I got there actually early for a change, you know. Usually I'm like scrambling, hey, don't leave me. Wait a minute, well that's west. Alright, I'm a little confused already. I didn't see the east view. Where'd the east go? I was expecting to see a boat. I didn't see a boat. But yeah, I got there. He was like, hang out, we're gonna wait for some people. I was like, alright, that's fine. You know, I've been waited on before myself. I know what that's like. And here's the sole picture of the trip. This was into the harbor. Looks like we'd already left at this point. So this picture might be a little bit out of order. Or, I don't know, let's check the next video. Nah, we're already gone. Yeah, that picture's in order. So yeah, I did not have any videos in the harbor. There was actually a turtle, so I did not get it on camera, unfortunately. The sucker swam away before I could pull it out. Yeah, we were sitting on the boat waiting to leave, and somebody was like, turtle, turtle, turtle. And yeah, sure enough, I ran over to the side of the boat and I saw the turtle. There's the dolphins. Look at that, spinner dolphin. Look at that pod of spinner dolphins right in front of our face. That was fantastic. Oh, that's fantastic. They're gone now. I'm glad I saw them. They were really close, as you can tell. I don't have a whole lot to say on this trip. I will say, I booked this trip for 3 reasons. Number one, I wanted to go whale watching. Even though I knew we were going to get some of that on the dive boats, I was like, you know what? I'll just take a dedicated whale watching trip. I should do it. So I signed up for that in Maui. It got canceled. Yeah, I came back from the volcano. I woke up. I was like, what am I going to do today? Let's go whale watching. And so I booked. I Googled it. Obviously, there's tons of boats going out. I picked this one because 2 reasons. It was cheaper, and it was a sailboat. I was like, yeah, I want to go on a sailboat. Like, have you guys ever been on a sailboat? I have not. I don't think. I'm trying to think. I don't think I've ever been on like a real sailboat. Certainly never gone sailing. I think I would love to do some sailing. You know, that's a rich people thing, you know. So I was pumped about the sailboat, and then I got out here and it was all engines, man. They didn't unfurl the sail at all. It must be just for show. I don't know. Maybe they, in the right conditions, they actually turn the engine off and do some sailing. But so that was kind of a bummer. But you know, I paid $85 for this trip. Well worth it, just for the boat ride. You know, they got a disclaimer and all this stuff. You may not actually see whales. That's fine. You know, I love being on the water. I love being on the water. Boat ride is worth it. And we did see whales. And these folks were very knowledgeable. One of the guys, when he starts talking, I'll shut up. I think I recorded some of it. Maybe I didn't. I don't know. He was talking for like 10 minutes, just, you know, fun facts about whales, about dolphins, the whole thing. Yeah, if I miss recording that, that's a shame because he was really very, very intelligent. We did see some whales. You know, they're not going to be that close. We haven't seen any yet. They're not going to be that close in the footage for a couple of reasons. You know, I've already talked about the GoPro. It takes video, at least in this mode. I'm in 4K, 60 frames a second, and it's kind of wide angle. That's the term. I could, air quotes, zoom in a little bit, but, you know, there's no actual optical zoom there, so I usually just keep it at wide angle. What that means, everything's going to look a little further away than it actually is. And there's also a law. This is the first whale sighting. People are pointing. Yeah, you can see some disturbance in the surface there. Yeah, there's a law. I don't know if it's state or federal or what, but they gotta stay, pretty sure it's 100 yards away from the whales. I think that's the law. I took a picture of that sign once I got back on shore. In fact, that should be part of this video. I might have done that on my phone. I'll pin it to the end, even if I'm not talking about it. I'll find that and attach it to the end. But yeah, it was like all different kinds of wildlife. You know, I think turtles started out. It was 10 feet away from turtles. You know, I talked about this in one of my Maui. I talked about this on the Baldwin Beach. Baldwin Beach at Maui. I think it was 10 feet away from turtles. Geez, I can't remember. Monk seals were next, like 50 feet. Dolphins, I think, were 50 feet. And whales were like either 100 feet or 100 yards. I think it was 100 yards. They really want you to give the whales a wide berth. But I'm probably going to shut up now because there's really not a whole lot to say. Just enjoy the scenery. You might see some whale tails fluttering up. And if you don't, just check out that big island. It's just beautiful. What a beautiful place. Alright, that's it from me.
And the birds are hanging out to get like fish scraps. Oh, is that the birds hanging out with the fish scraps?
I'm pretty sure that's a bait ball right there. I doubt the whales are feeding because they don't. Sometimes they do feed here, but it's really not enough for them to feed here.
So it's a bait ball.
The bait ball is just a bunch of little fish.
Oh, got it.
Probably the baby camels.
The whole time that mom and baby are here, they won't really eat. Supposedly they don't eat while they're here. They only really eat once they get back to Alaska. So that's a couple months they go without food, which is kind of a horrible time for the mothers because if you think they are not eating for a couple months and a baby that size is drinking up to about 40 gallons of milk a day at the consistency of like maple syrup. So, pretty rough time for mom, but you gotta do what you gotta do. So, that fluke of the whale, the whale's tail itself, the back of it is very similar to a human's fingerprint in the way that they're all unique. There's not two whales that have the same print. if you get a good picture of a newer baby or another whale that's come through, there's a website called happywhale.com, and you can upload the photo there, and if you find a new whale and you take a picture of a new whale, you can actually name the whale. Happy whale. So there's a lot of whales called Joseph going around as well.
You know, it's funny he said that because Emron in my dive group said the exact same thing about the manta rays. So he actually knows the manta rays by their underside markings, and they told us during the puppet show that, you know, each manta ray has its own distinct underside markings. And he's been down there diving long enough that he recognizes which rays are which based on their underside markings. So this guy just got done saying it's the same thing with the whale tails. They're unique, and if you take a picture of a new one, you get to name it. It's just incredible. One more thing, this is way out of place because I should have said this on the manta ray dive, but one thing Emron,
The bad thing about
I
that
missed
is
it.
it can be anywhere from
Yeah.
10 to 20 minutes.
One thing Emron did say is that the manta rays actually stick really close to the shore. So he said they pretty much do laps. No, laps is the wrong idea. They kind of swim up and down. We were on the west shore of the island. He says the same manta rays stick to a pretty close geographical location.
And come up like 20 minutes. Oh yeah, I can see it. Pec flapping, so it's long pectoral fin. It's just putting on a bow and flapping along. Yeah.
The other one's the other one is each other. Yeah.
I wanted to shut up while he was talking. But yeah, Emron said that the manta rays, they just kind of glide up and down the coast. I got the impression they really don't venture far from their homeland, and so they do these night dives so often that you can actually recognize them, and they all got names. He knows which ones are named, you know, which ones are matched to which patterns, underside patterns. And that's just really cool, really cool. Took me a long time to say that. Oh man, I had to chuckle a little bit. So this guy in the front, we're looking at standing up right now. He must have been some model or something, or like a wannabe model, because I don't know if I have it on camera, but he was sitting in the front of the boat and handing his phone to the two people in front who he was clearly friends with, and he was like unbuttoning his shirt and like posing in the front, and they were taking pictures. And it was just a little weird. It was a little weird. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. I don't know. I don't know where they're from. I couldn't tell. Couldn't quite get the language. I'm not quite sure where they were from. They're from somewhere though. Three of them. It was, that's cool. This is, Hawaii's like a international hub. You know, I'm sure it attracts people from all over the place.
Yeah.
I know when I was in Oahu 7, 8 years ago, it was a melting pot of people. But, you know, it's in the middle of the Pacific, so you got people from the east, you got people from the west, just all converging on this one spot. It was pretty cool. Are we done already? I feel like I really haven't seen any whales. Where are we at? 35, 60 minutes. Yeah, we're basically done. We're heading back to the shore by now. That's disappointing. just, the GoPro is just not good. It's not a good recording device for this. Yeah, there's some whale. I mean, you can see him, you can kind of see him. But it's just so zoomed out. It's the wrong equipment for the job. I love my GoPro, but it can't do everything. So, yeah, it is what it is. That's a little disappointing. This is the first time I've watched these videos, and I was hoping to see a little better than that. Because I saw plenty of whales while I was there, honestly. On this trip, on the dive boats. But none of them are going to be much closer than that, so that's about as best as you're going to see. So that is kind of a bummer, but, you know, it is what it is. It's what it is. I can't say I'm sorry I came on this trip. Oh, one thing. I might keep this on the hush-hush, but maybe I'm supposed to, but this boat had an open bar. Like, we got on, you know, anytime you get on a boat, they give you a little dive briefing and all that, and they're like, yeah, we got a bar down there. And I had actually seen it already. It's like, yeah, that's nice. So I went down there, and, you know, I got up here. I was like, how much? And she was like, oh, don't worry about it. What? You got an open bar in this boat? Is that what you're telling me? Well, that wind is fierce. Where's that wind canceling algorithm, man? Jeez. You know what? I think if I face it head on, it was a lot better than from the side. I think that's probably what it is. Yeah. It was just like, open bar in this boat? Are you kidding me? Like, if I wasn't here for an ulterior motive, because, you know, I was very tempted to use and abuse that, but I was standing up the whole time. Getting tossed in the waves and things, so I needed a hand to hold the railing, I needed a hand to work the camera, and I did not have a third hand to hold the mirror. And I did not want to miss the whales because I was running to the bar. So I actually only had cover. Very well restrained, given the circumstances. Destroyed that, but I did not, because I did not want to trade beer for whales. I was like, I'm here, I can drink anywhere, whatever. Can't see whales everywhere, so I do not regret my decision. I wish we had seen a whale breach. We did not see a whale breach. I did not see a whale breach. They were telling us stories. I think it was this trip. It was, you know, either this or the dive trip. Actually, I think it was the dive boat. But they're like, yeah, we were out. No, maybe it was this one. It doesn't. Look at that mast. Look at that mast. But, you know, they got a law where they got to stay 100 yards away from them, or whatever it is. And, he was like, one time I was out here and the whale came up to the boat and just started rubbing its back on the bottom of the boat. And, you know, I guess he had an itch, or was, you know, trying to get rid of some barnacles or something, you know, who knows. But they were out with a group. Yeah, it was this tour, I think. He was like, we were out with a group, and they got back super late because, you know, they are not allowed to start their engines anywhere close to these whales. So they were sitting there, and this whale swims up, starts rubbing his back on this boat, and I guess he was doing it for a long time, and they just had to sit there and wait for the whale to get done and swim away. It's like, man, what an experience. I wish I had seen that. I really do, but, you know, I saw an erupting volcano. I can't get too greedy. And again, this is within a span of 24 hours. I did a night dive with manta rays. I saw an erupting volcano with lava pools, with lava geysers, molten rock spewing out of the ground like water. And on this dive trip, or not dive trip, but this whale watching trip, looking at whales, and trust me, what I saw was more impressive than what you saw on camera, which is a bummer, but that's the reality of the situation. Oh man, where can you see that? All right, this is pretty impressive. I cannot imagine parking this boat. So she drove this thing into the harbor, swung it around like this, and did the back end. One of my good friends lives in Milwaukee, and he's big into boats, huge into boats. And I would love to see him drive one of these. I bet he'd kill it. I bet he'd absolutely kill it. As far as I know, he's never driven a boat anywhere close to this big, but I bet he would just take to this like a duck on water, you know. And she maneuvered the sucker in there really good. I gotta say, it's probably not the most impressive parking job I've ever seen. I think that honor goes to Key Marathon dive boat. I went out. Yeah, I went to the Keys. What was that, 2 summers ago maybe? For my brother's girlfriend's birthday. And you know, it's the Florida Keys. I'm gonna do some diving. They're talking nautical stuff. And they had a big boat, probably not quite this big, but you know, different boat. This is like a catamaran, I think, with a dual hulls in the bottom, whatever those are called. I'm not a boat guy. I'm sorry. But that thing was like basically parallel parked to the. Oh, there's some yellow sauce. It's like parallel parked to the shore. And he drove that sucker in there, and we're like heading straight for the shore. I'm like, all right, how you gonna repark this thing? And he just like, I don't know, cut the engine, freaking cut the wheel, and it just like turned sideways and slid right into the space. And it was just beautiful. I'm like, man, how do you learn how to do that? Like they got boat simulators. Like you going into the sim and practicing this over and over before you do the real thing. I imagine not. So at some point, somebody's just got to hand you the keys and be like, hey, park this thing, man. I'd want a sim. I'd want a boat sim. But I suspect that even if those exist, these people are not paying money for that. Yeah, really cool trip. I imagine this has got to be the last video. Let me just triple check that because I've been wrong before. No, it's not. Hold on, there's one left. Yeah, I will say they did not charge me for the beers, but I gave them a pretty good tip, I think. So all works out in the end, right?